Bridges of Iowa, building a rich history of successful, long-term, faith-based substance abuse treatment for men.
I was in an active addiction for 20 years, addicted to cocaine, crack cocaine.
After the marijuana, that escalated on into crack cocaine use.
I started using when I was in the 4th grade, found myself in treatment by the age of 12.
I was a lifelong addict. I've been in prison pretty much all my life. I went when I was 16.
Used drugs and alcohol, and been in trouble with the law, in and out, since I was about 16.
I did 25 years in prison, off and on, and life just wasn't getting it.
Had a son that had some difficulty with substance abuse and was arrested 2 or 3 times for possession with intent. Each time he was plea bargained, except the 3rd time, and then he got 25 years.
The Bridges program was originally designed as a re-entry program for men coming out of jail and/or prison who typically have long-term histories of drug and alcohol abuse as well as criminal behavior.
Like I said, I was broken, and when I landed myself in jail this last time, I had the most overwhelming sense of relief because I knew I couldn't do what I didn't want to do, and that was get high and hurt people that loved me.
So I got a little scared. Like I said, I'm facing 305 years. It was actually the day of my trial. They offered me Bridges. So, of course, I took it.
You know, it was my first serious offenses where I got 2 counts of armed robbery and was ultimately facing what amounted to be a life sentence.
This is still one of the primary components of referrals for us. However, over the years, we have also worked as a diversion program, primarily in partnership with the 5th Judicial District and Drug Court.
And I'm assigned to the general civil docket, but I also serve as the presiding judge for our intensive supervision drug court. We have a very large percentage of persons involved in the criminal system who are, if not driven exclusively by, are affected by substance abuse.
Because we're sending people to prison with addictions when they really just need help to get through their addictions and get back into the real world.
It's not an easy program for the men who walk through our doors, but those who commit to changing their lives and are focused on their spiritual relationship truly experience transformational change.
The thing that I think we do best, it makes us unique from other people, other programs, is we bring the faith-based types of treatments and the traditional kind of secular professional substance abuse treatment together.
Our attitude about this, about faith, is that we don't have a litmus test for people who want to become a part of the Bridges. We say to them, here's the door. We open the door for them.
And I think really, truly what was missing out of all of them was God.
You know, I wanted to be sober, but it just wasn't enough because I didn't have God in my life.
I never had any God or religion in my life.
I was at a point in my life that I've had sobriety before, and I didn't get it. I was missing God.
The average length of stay in the program is 12 to 18 months. The program consists of an orientation period and 3 treatment phases.
You know, our guys, they're the ones who basically have failed in all the other programs. You know, they've all been to, on average, treatment 2, 3, and 4 and more times. Most of them have been to prison, and those that have been to prison 2 or more times.
One of the things we determined was a 7-day inpatient, a 14-day, even a 30-day, in a lot of instances, 90-day drug treatment programs are inadequate to meet the need of the long-term substance abuser.
A lot of guys can fake it for 30 days or 60 days or kind of say what they need to say to get through. To try to do that for a whole year is pretty difficult.
Being in the trouble that I've been in all my life, that I needed something long-term, something spiritual, something that I knew was going to be a challenge for me. And the Bridges of Iowa program met all those needs for me.
Orientation lasts approximately 2 weeks, where the men become used to the rules, learn expectations, and write their life story. Upon completion of writing their story and presenting it to their Bridges brothers, they enter Phase 1. Phase 1 lasts approximately 60 to 90 days and is where the guys begin to focus on their treatment and the why of their behavior and consequences that have landed them at Bridges of Iowa. They work one-to-one with licensed therapists on treatment and life goals, participate in group therapy, and attend a daily reflection time.
Each treatment plan is different. It is made directly, individually to address those, kind of life-threatening issues that cause a client to get to where they are.
The men are also connected with their support system. First, a Bridges brother who is more advanced in the program and can provide daily support. Second, a treatment sponsor. This can be either NA or AA, depending on which is the most appropriate. Third, they are connected with a spiritual mentor from a local congregation.
I'm Colette Nelson, and I am the care director here at Lutheran Church of Hope, and I oversee a lot of our care ministry, but also coordinate Celebrate Recovery, which is our Christian recovery program. And I think some of the most authentic, transformed people that I've met through Celebrate Recovery have been the Bridges guys.
This Bridges of Iowa has got it figured out. They understand that God is the only way that you can fight this addiction. If you don't have God in your life, then it doesn't work.
All of these things combined provide the comprehensive approach to succeed in treatment, and most importantly for the support they will need for the rest of their lives. After a period of stabilizing and identifying life and financial goals, the men begin a job search.
In order for the clients to advance to the program into their second phase, they must become employed. We go through an application instruction program, interview instruction, resume instruction, and then job search. Get out and make money, pay rent, learn how to support themselves. The goal is to get them to find a job so that they can have a living wage.
Upon securing a position, the men move into Phase 2. It is during this time that their sobriety and new faith is tested. The men are given more freedom in the community for travel to their jobs as well as leisure time, and they may be working with people who use drugs and/or alcohol and need to be accountable for their treatment and actions. It is also during Phase 2 that the men begin repayment to Bridges of Iowa for the opportunity to receive treatment. Prior to obtaining a job, the men receive services at no charge to them. After obtaining a job, they pay a portion of their room and board. This allows them to begin to learn to budget their money, and the contribution back to Bridges allows the program to provide the same opportunity for others. The men remain in Phase 2 for approximately 60 to 90 days, even 120 days. This is where their individual accountability is tested, and there is great growth, but there can also be setbacks. After successfully maintaining a job and being accountable to their treatment goals, the men will enter Phase 3. Phase 3 begins the final stages of treatment. The men work on making consistent payments to the courts, child support, and any other debts they may have.
And so our model is designed to stop those cycles, stop the cycle of addiction, stop the use of the drug, give them an opportunity to become successful and to compete, and put them on a track where they can, one day at a time, climb their way out of their debt load and again become productive.
They also move out of the sheltered housing of the halfway house. The men have the opportunity to rent apartments at our Vine Street location, live in a supportive community, and continue to build their independence. Phase 3 can last 90 days, but often lasts significantly longer. Bridges of Iowa requires the men to have at least $1,500 in savings, to have made significant progress on their outstanding debt, be contributing members of their sobriety community, as well as their faith-based community. At the completion of meeting all of their treatment and financial goals, the men graduate from the Bridges program. At the ceremony, the men are presented with a coin that allows them the opportunity to return to Bridges at any time should they need the support. It's an emotional time for the men and their families. Many of the men stay involved as sponsors for the new men who enter the program. Although Bridges served only men in the past, there is a huge need for long-term treatment and support of women. Bridges of Iowa has developed a pilot Women's Transitional Housing and Support Project. All participants have completed their substance abuse treatment while serving time at the Iowa Correctional Institute for Women at Mitchellville or the Polk County Jail. The women will go through an abbreviated financial literacy, job search, and recovery support program, given they have already completed primary treatment. This is an important expansion of programming. The participating women, Bridges of Iowa staff, and community partners are committed to their long-term success. Long-term substance abuse, criminal behavior, and criminal justice system involvement affect the children and families of the addicts. In addition to the support programs for women, we have also started a family support program called SAFE, Spiritual Awareness and Family Enrichment. It's been wildly successful.
So our goal is to have them come together here with families in the similar situation that they're in and come together, and we like to start off with having a meal. You don't need to having a snack or a meal.
The families enjoy knowing that they don't suffer the consequences of their addicted loved ones alone. They share a common path.
Because the guys are in a place where they're safe, secure, and they're being taken care of, and the family can come here and be in a safe place where they can be taken care of.
This new component has also helped the men make greater strides where they were once failing. Improved communication and mutual healing has provided a new level of understanding and accepting the recovery process.
The most meaningful things in Bridges for me was like the camaraderie, of course the spiritual aspect of everything, becoming closer to God, learning about God, and having the fellowship with the other men inside Bridges, me becoming friends with them.
Well, we're changing lives. We're changing lives and saving lives.
Tremendous things have happened in my life.
I'm a loving father today. I have a job that I continue to go to each and every morning. I continue to attend meetings. I also mentor younger men.
I got a good job at a large financial company.
We're going to need the help of the community to be able to provide these meaningful opportunities to change. These individuals that have involved themselves in substance abuse and criminality, if we want to return them back to productive members of society.
We need people to come forth with their time and their talent, and as they can, with their money, to help this program.
But I believe that you could have 2 or 3 of these kind of facilities within the state under separate roofs, under separate operations, still have the holding company manage the operation.
And my life is just awesome. I mean, honestly, it's just awesome.